there's one thing that I haven't done here yet. Well, there's several different like show ideas I've had. I mean, you guys remember when we ran the gag motive years ago? Those are in the crime scene analysis playlist. I stopped doing those. It was when I ran those and stopped. The main reason I stopped was because that was right when the advertiser boycott happened, and there was just no incentive to make stuff like that at the time. We were a lot smaller back then. That was years ago. But I would like to do some more original shows, smaller segments, if you will. It's always hard because of time. That's kind of my biggest problem right now. You know how long the KK episodes have taken to make, digital creations, everything like that. It's so much time, and especially when you started doing your own recordings of things, scene hunting, it just adds in, it's just a lot. But one thing I've always really wanted to do is Dream Damsels. How it could have happened, missed opportunities, or just straight up a dream damsel that I've always had that typically will probably, like we'll probably never get a scene. Like there have been instances where, like just as an example, the TV movie, which I'm sure we'll show here eventually, even though the scene isn't that great, the Hasselhoff TV movie called Gridlock, where supermodel Kathy Ireland gets a duct tape gag in it. Most people back in the 90s, like Kathy Ireland would have been huge on their dream damsel list in the 90s. And that is somebody that you typically would have never thought would have gotten a scene. I would question whether or not the person made the movie just to get her that scene, except the scene is just not what it should have been. Anyway, but that's an example. That's somebody you never would have thought would have, because she wasn't really an actress. She was a supermodel. And now there are actresses that we've seen in movies over the years and TV shows over the years thinking to themselves, maybe it's finally going to happen. Maybe it's finally going to happen. Maybe she's finally going to get one. And then it doesn't, and it's disappointing. But then there's some times where they finally do get one. And it's incredible. It's like, wow. Or they get one and it's years, a little bit too late. You wish when they were younger. Or sometimes there's a damsel that you always wish had a scene, and it turns out she does, and you just don't know about it. I've had that happen several times. Actually, that kind of happened to me when I started the show. I wasn't aware that AJ Cook had so many scenes. I didn't think she had any, because I had seen her on Criminal Minds. I was like, wow, she's amazing. I love this woman. Does she have any scenes? No, she doesn't. Oh, it turns out she does have a handful of them. That's just one example. There are others where I have learned, yes, this woman has had multiple scenes even sometimes that you just didn't know about. But what are you guys' thoughts on me running a show like this? Because I've had people ask me for this. Like, not just, I don't know if they're expecting a KK episode, because we've done missed opportunities before. The Brigitte Wilson, that fucking Last Action Hero scene. And when I had more time on my hands and the episodes were much easier to make, I did a lot more missed opportunities. I don't know if I would ever consider doing a missed opportunity episode in an actual KK episode anymore. They would probably have to be their own thing. And I feel like maybe I don't know if a Dream Damsel segment would be appropriate for that. Maybe that would be like, I've always thought about doing like what could have happened, because in some episodes I put up pictures where I've made some custom drawings, like with Kerry Russell and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and Erica Laniak and Pam Anderson on the raft and Baywatch. I had those custom photos I made, and that was like what could have happened. I don't know, it's just a time thing. But for Dream Damsel's sake, I've wanted to run this because I think this would be really fun, and I'm questioning how I would want to do it. Would I want to, because I thought originally about doing a top 10 list, right? Problem with that is it'll change, and what happens once you're done with those 10? How would you keep going? Would you keep going? Would you just do one of these episodes per year? Like, these are the damsels I'd be interested in now, or because I don't know. that seems like it'd be tougher. But then I was thinking, well, if I do it like a monthly show where I do one episode and just pick one of those dream damsels and talk about it, like, because some of them had missed opportunities, or maybe like an idea of what I think would be a good scene for them, show some video of them from other things, and get an idea like that. I don't know, what would you guys think? The episodes would be probably 8 to 10 minutes long. They gotta be 8 minutes long so I can run ad breaks. Used to be 10, now it's 8. No, but I think that would be something fun. And you guys, I'd be curious to know who you guys' dream damsels are, because some of you have sent me some ideas. I mean, for me, like, I don't really want to spoil any and tell you guys. I've probably talked about a few in the past. I'm sure I've mentioned some. So if you've watched all of our content and you have a great memory, you probably remember. But I wouldn't want to come out and tell you right now and spoil them. Truthfully, for me, my dream damsels were always the girls I knew in real life growing up. Girls I went to high school with and college with, not celebrities per se. I mean, yeah, we always have the celebrities, but that's really why I got into the digital creations, was to make the stories based off of the girls that I knew, you know, using the likeness and whatnot of girls that I know personally, to create these characters. Those were, you know, I don't know, you know, you go to school with somebody every day and you see them. I've personally always been more interested in damsels that I have like I guess a personal connection with, and I've seen more than just like a celebrity from far away. But obviously I wouldn't run something like that based off people you guys don't know, because that won't make any sense. And same for you telling me, oh yes, this girl I went to high school with, but I mean, obviously, you know, that's not gonna work for this show. However, celebrities will work, and actresses are one thing, but it's more than just actresses. I mean, truthfully, a lot of you know, models and stuff, but a lot of musicians. If you're from the United States, and I say to you, yeah, some of my biggest dream damsels are country music stars. If you're from the United States, you may have a few pop off the top of your head where you're like, yeah, I know who he's talking about. Probably quite a handful of them. But I mean, yeah, a lot of singers, actresses, pro wrestlers, obviously. I mean, that's another one. Like, that's one where, like, if you look at like the Trish Stratus scene, that kind of stuff that we had there, even Lita in the Dark Angel, even though that's like goofy ass tape, you know, I don't know, I don't like stuff that's not like traditional looking typically, but I mean, it was Lita, so I can't really complain. But to get to see Trish Stratus tied and gagged like that on an episode of Monday Night Raw, I would imagine like that was probably one of the most stunning moments for DID fans across the world. I actually wasn't watching wrestling at the time then. That's where I took a break. But I would imagine for anyone watching that, their mind was blown. Like, they could not imagine that they'd ever get to see that. And at that point, that was 2006? 05 or 06, something like that. I would imagine that, I mean, that's 5 to 7 years into Trish Stratus being a thing. And at the time, she was the hottest woman in wrestling. I would imagine that she was on so many guys' dream damsel list. And for that to actually happen, I mean, that had to have, like, broke. I mean, if this show would have been around then or whatnot, like, that would have broke the DID world. I mean, so, yeah, you never know. You never know. Some of these singers could end up acting in a TV movie or something. It's possible. I wouldn't, you know, it's not impossible, but it seems unlikely. Anyway, who are you guys's? Let me know in the comments who are some of your dream damsels, and let me know what you think a good idea for a show would be to highlight some of mine. Because this is something I do want to do. I think it'll be pretty easy to do, because I won't have to really worry about editing like I do with the KK episodes, which takes, you know, an eternity. But let me know. and I will see you guys soon.